So yes, we are back again for the second Q&A for the short film showcase, which we were showing on Saturday morning, screen 2, and we have some creatives from one of the shorts that we showed. Why don't we go down the line and talk about what short we were a part of and what we did on?
So I'm Jack, and I was on strings as a producer, AD, and I also did costume and props.
Hi, I'm Becky. I was on the camera crew for strings.
Hi, I'm Jasper. I was on the producing team and first AD for strings.
So this movie, I've been quite interested to talk to you guys about this one because on the film Freeway there's a cast of like 3 directors, about 9 cinematographers, about 13, like there's a lot of people involved in this. Can you explain this a little bit, please?
Yeah, do you want to explain it? Yeah, you can take it.
So it's pretty crazy how many people they cast us all.
Chose us.
Crew us all as like cinematographers, but really we kind of shifted around the camera crew as loads of different roles. So
lighting, sound, camera.
So I'll talk specifically about the camera crew because that's what I was on. We kind of just swapped between all the different roles, and we had a head cinematographer who kind of was a guide. So how it works was all of us went to the Young Film Academy summer camp, and then they picked us from that camp to be part of the project, which was really cool. I think they've just done the 3rd edition of it last week.
I think there was like 500 people in the camp, something like that, and they chose 24 of us to go on the shoot. Something like that.
It's not just the camp.
It's not just the camp, yes.
Anyone that Young Film Academy works with, so I think it's like 15,000 kids a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And there were 24 chosen to go on the shoot, so it was a massive honour to be chosen.
It's super awesome.
Yeah.
But how does that work in terms of you've got so many different creative heads all coming together? Was it not like a little bit of clashing, or was it just like...
No. I think what's great about it was that it was a massive collaboration project, and we didn't have any sort of like, there wasn't any hidden fights or anything like that.
No.
We had staff on crew that were like each of the head of departments, and then they were mentoring us, and then we take from that and go forward with the rest of the shoot. So
yeah, so what we do is different scenes. So you were saying like 3 directors. Each scene would have a director. So scene 8 would have one director. Scene 9 would have a different director. And it was up to the production crew, so whoever was ADing and the person like mentoring the directors to make sure that it all kind of fit together, directing styles, as well as the camera team, the DOP basically made sure that whilst the camera crew was switching around and lighting and sound, it all stayed consistent. So whilst there was change around in who was in charge on what day and what scene, it was still consistent. There was still a consistency kept throughout, due to the fact that, I mean, the script got done ages ago and the storyboards and stuff got done way before we went on shoot. And because of that, they managed to collaborate on what was going to happen before we even got there. So there was no fights on set.
Well, I'm
Definitely no fights.
I'm just going to say I'm massively impressed by that whole situation, because normally you have one director running the ship, you have a very tight kind of crew, but you guys, there was lots of you, and you could never tell that there were so many different people involved in this, because it's a coherent, gorgeous looking piece to be shown up on the screen.
Thank you.
So how does that feel for you guys, knowing that there was so many involved, but like you all had your little part, but then you get to see the final project? How does it feel to see it up on a big screen like that?
Honestly, it's kind of surreal. It's, I mean, we're all students still. Like, I'm a first year film student. I think you are as well, and you're still in college. So it's really like surreal seeing stuff that we've worked on a big screen like this. It's like what I dreamed to do in the future. The fact that it's happening now is just insane.
I've always thought it's surreal. I've seen it a couple of times on a big screen. It's still just as magical as when we first watched it, like when we first did the
Premiere.
That's the word I was looking for, premiere. But seriously, like I still love it, and like it was a very special thing to be a part of. So.
Yeah, like I think I didn't actually realise it was like scary until I actually like watched it for the first time, because I mean, you get so into like filming it, and it's funny and it's fun, you're with your friends, and you know we weren't part of the editing process. No. So when we sat down and watched it, I jumped at all the jumps because I was really scared. So yeah, it's just completely surreal. Like it's so wild. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually. When it's funny because about the horror thing, when you don't actually, when you're filming it, you're like, oh, this is fine. Like when the actress Calypso, when she was sick, we just used like lunch from that day. As, like we didn't actually. None of that was particularly like scary to film. But then when I think it's the sound really that made it like gory. I remember watching it and being like, oh, I don't. That's actually awful.
The sound design was crazy.
Speaking of like the prosthetics and stuff as well, like at the time we'd go and have breakfast and lunch, and Calypso would just have this like cheek peeled open as she was eating pasta and stuff, so it was not scary for us. And we saw it here, and it looks like she's peeling open her skin. We're like, oh, that's actually terrifying, because we just remember sitting there at lunch and she's just trying to stick it back on while she's eating, because it kept flapping open whenever she chewed. And I mean, that's what I remember of that. So
that was funny.
That was hilarious.
Still get stuck in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
saving it for later.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like looking at it now, it's like, oh, we actually did a good job making it look scary on camera, because off camera it was just hilarious.
You show it to people and like they wince at certain things. They kind of wince and you're like, what are you looking at? It's not scary at all. But you kind of forget.
Pulling the strings, we had to do that scene so many times because she just kept pulling the strings out. The prosthetic, it would just come apart. So yeah, it's just looking at it and going, oh damn, that's scary. Yeah. It wasn't scary when we shot it. It was just frustrating. But now it's scary.
So a little bit on what you just said about reactions. I do ask the question about you can see all the flaws in your film, and then I turn that into a positive. But I want to wreck on it a little bit here. And when you have been watching it with audience or with family and friends or anything like that, what has been the best reaction you've had that have been like, nah, we nailed that?
At the premiere, my gran was sitting next to me, and she literally clutched my knee and was like, Jack, I don't want to be here for this, but I'm going to because it's your film. This is terrifying. And she was like shaking throughout the entire movie, which was a very good reaction considering it's a horror movie, but I did feel really bad.
When I'm in my first year of uni now, and at the start of the year we were kind of just showing our friends like the different things that we've worked on, and I whipped that one out, and they were just kind of like, I remember there was loads of people kind of just like physically turning away, and I'm like, bloody wuss. Like, it's not that, like, that's not, like, I've seen way worse messed up things than strings, but like I guess when earlier when you think about it, it's kind of scary for people first time.
The best reaction I had was when I showed it to my mum after the premiere, because she couldn't come. So it was on a tiny phone screen, so obviously it's not as big as say if you're in a cinema or whatever. And she can't deal with horror at all. So she was like, but I'm gonna be with you because this is something that you've done. So she shut her eyes, and I had to give her an audio description of everything because she didn't want to look at it. And so that was a highlight. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, sorry.
So you're all student filmmakers right now, and obviously you're going to be filmmakers. It's a given one day, hopefully. But what was your trickiest experience with making this? What's something that you remember being particularly hard and tricky to get done?
I'm going to mention that first scene that I was talking about earlier. The first scene we filmed was when she climbed through the window from the inside,
right.
And it was a single shot. It lasted about 5 seconds in the film. It took us 4 hours to film because it was the first shot we filmed. We were all trying to work together.
I remember this because I was focus pulling. Like my closest friend Mia and I, we were like, because the first role that we had to do was focus pulling, and because it's like the dial, we've never done that before. It's like a separate thing. Like, what the? And they were like, okay, we're gonna go for take. What? I don't even know what I'm doing. So that was really funny. That was one of the reasons why that took so long.
I think we'd shoot 3 things that day. We shot 3 scenes. We shot half a scene.
Yeah. We were very behind schedule.
Yeah, very behind schedule.
Day one.
Day one.
This day one's always tough, but I think overall of the whole thing, I think the toughest thing we did film, aside from the first day, was the pool scene. Because obviously it's water and continuity sucks. And it's that water was not, that pool was, we filmed this in February. Even though it was in Sicily, it's cold.
It's cold.
So poor Calypso. Yeah, that was probably the toughest thing we did.
In between each take of that pool scene, it took about half an hour of us blow drying her clothes and blow drying her hair, and I think she had to go get changed in between each one, and the puppet had to be dried off, and it was literally like a half hour, 45-minute reset.
Puppet,
Down.
the
That
strings would get everywhere.
I had to unthread all the strings in between each take, just doing nothing, like if she was hanging up on a wall, whatever. We had to unthread the puppet strings after every single take and rethread them because they would get tangled. And like I was the guy doing props, so me and Marina, who was our props and like set designer, like mentor, the two of us would spend hours every single day just unthreading that one puppet and doing it, and it was so frustrating.
I was ADing the day of that pool scene, and when I watch it, if I listen really, really closely, I can hear myself hyperventilating in the background. It was so stressful, and I remember there was a bit of an argument about the crane shot, which ended up being in for like 0.5 seconds.
It's a very good shot.
It's a good shot, but I think it was worth it.
I don't
I
remember.
did. But I think it was worth it, and it came together really well. But yeah, that was quite a stressful day.
So now you guys have made this movie, you've smashed it, it's up on the big screen, you're showing it in festivals and whatnot, but it's the director question, by the way, or the creator question. If you could show this to any director or creator that truly inspires you, who would you show it to for feedback and why?
So that's quite hard for us because I don't think none of us directed it, so I was going to show it for a director for
Just
feedback.
any creator, really.
I must say my favourite director of all time is David Leitch, and he didn't start as a director, he started as a stuntman, so showing it to him and potentially saying something like, could you take a look at this, what kind of feedback would you have for just general crew, because I think he'd be quite a good opinion to have regarding just general crew questions, but yeah.
I really like Talk to Me. It's like my favourite horror film. It's on my top 4 on Letterboxd, which is why I brought it up. I don't remember the names of the filmmakers. I think it's Danny and Michael.
Yeah, it's the brothers, isn't it? The two brothers, yeah.
Love. If I could show this to them, that would be so cool. I think they're awesome. I love that film.
Yeah, I don't. A lot of my favourite directors and creators don't do a lot of horror, but so like it sounds wrong for me to say like Greta Gerwig or like or like Luca Guadagnino. I just like a lot of their work is just really inspired me to kind of get into filmmaking and all these things, although they're not necessarily horror.
Yes, they are. They're freaky. We can use that. That's fine.
Is there any plans to get I mean, there's about 50 of you, but is there any plans on getting the band back together, or would you guys work together and collaborate together again?
We had, because this is last week, the next edition of Project Paradiso just went out, and it was all over social media in our little group chat from last year. We're like, we need to meet each other again, we need to meet up, because it brought back so much nostalgia just seeing them out there.
Seeing the dog that's on the farm where we were filming, Lily, we were all just like, how dare they pet the dog that we spent ages petting? Like, that was our dog that we were petting for that week. How dare they? But the food and like just the experience, and I really think we should get back together at some point. But we're all from different countries, so there's people from America, from Greece. I think one of the directors was from South Korea. So it will definitely be hard for us all to come back together to work on it, but it'd be worth it. It'd be worth it. Miss you guys.
I'd love to see them.
Well, you definitely chose the easiest way to get into filmmaking, I will say. Do we have any questions from the audience about strings? Yep.
So it sounds like you all got to try a few different crew roles for this project. Do you guys know what role you want to eventually end up in, and why that role speaks to you?
So I really liked the ADing part of it, but I do also want to go into the camera role. I didn't get a chance on the set because I wasn't in a camera crew, but I just camera or ADing is stuff I love doing.
I found the mentors on the camera crew, the cinematographers, Jonathan Gonzalo, really, really inspiring to me. I absolutely adore being on the camera crew. It's like a little rock band. I love it. So my dream would be to be a cinematographer. I think loads of people love cinematography. And, I want to do it. I want to do that role. I think it's great.
Although I didn't get a chance, obviously, on this project, I'd really love to go into directing because I just think it's so cool. And yeah, I think directing.
And anyone? Yep.
Yeah, are you going to carry on making more horror films, or are you going to do other ones as well? That's really good.
Thank you. So for me personally, I'm not a massive horror fan. I get scared very easily. Watching these horror films, I was literally like clutching the armrests, just in my seat over there. But if I was working on horror, I did enjoy working on it. It was good fun, and it wasn't scary on set. So I think if the opportunity came, I would work on a horror film again. I wouldn't go searching for it, simply because, again, horror is not my favourite genre, and you kind of need to know the genre to be able to make it. But if the opportunity came, I would take it again, for sure. It was good fun, and it was a good experience.
I love horror films. I think it's probably one of the most intriguing genres to me, but I think also we didn't pick the genre for this. It was chosen for us, and the writers did such a cool job. And I think if I was to have the chance to pick a genre to make, I'd love to make a thriller. I do love thriller films because it's less of the gore or whatever half the time. Well, actually that depends, but sometimes I just love the fact that it can turn one way completely in one scene. It's brilliant. Love thrillers. Love to do that.
I also really, really love horror films. I think given the opportunity,
Log one out.
I think given the opportunity, I'd love to do another horror. I love psychological horror. I love body horror. I love horror films. I'd love to get involved in another horror film.
Anyone? Right, so I'm going to end with a really fun question. And it kind of pertains to your movie as well. If you could remake any classic movie, any part of it, from the camera crew to whatever angle, but also this classic movie now has to be a musical, but also you can only cast puppets, what classic movie are you going to remake?
Define classic movie for me.
Well, anything past 10 years ago. Oh, just choose any movie, just remake anything, but it has to be a musical and it has to be puppets.
See, something that I think would be really, really funny, remake all the Harry Potter movies, but turn all the wizards into puppets.
I love that.
Because that seems like that would just be fun, and have a single character, maybe, I don't know, either Harry Potter or no, have Dobby be the human and everyone else be puppets, and that I think would be hilarious.
That would be funny.
That would be so funny.
It's a tough question. Great question.
That's a good question.
I think, personally, I don't know any horror films that I would want to flip over, but I would want to do a Muppets Christmas Carol, but turn it already puppets, already technically a musical, turn it into a horror film. Because that, when you do English and for GCSEs, it's great to watch, but what if there was another way to make it more memorable that helps people to remember the quotes? So it'd be fun.
Any Saw film?
Good answer.
Actually, a popular answer I'm finding.
I just want to see it. I think
How would they break their arms? They just snap the strings.
Yes.
We've already done it.
I think that just picturing it, I think that'd be fantastic, and I think someone should go onto that right now.
Yeah, just picture the puppet breaks its
A20.
arm and just flops, and it just goes, flops its arm back.
A24, get on it.
A24,
Get on it.
come on now.
Yeah, that's their shit, isn't it? Or Channel 5, one of the
Channel
two.
5. Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much for submitting this movie to us. Thank you for letting us show up on the big screen. Most of all, thank you for being here
Thank you.
and doing this with me right now. So, thank you. Can we get a little round of applause?